President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulate the French football team for winning the World Cup. Sports Minister tweets, Croatia wins heart and a match historic by every measure. Golden consolation for Magical Modic as he picks up the Player of the Tournament award, collecting the golden ball. Harry Kane gets the golden boot, while French striker Mbappe gets the Young Player award. In tennis, Novak Djokovic wins his 4th Wimbledon title after beating Kevin Anderson in straight sets. Novak has now 13 Grand Slam titles to his tally. And PV Sindhu's title drought in 2018 continues. Loses to now Nozomi Okuhara in straight games at the Thailand Open final. 3rd disappointment in a final this year for the star shuttler. Well, first up, news from the FIFA World Cup. France won the World Cup for the second time by ending battling Croatia's dream of a first title with a 4-2 victory on Sunday night in one of the most entertaining and action-packed finals for decades.
Champions of the world!
An old-fashioned scoreline but a very modern performance. France gave this World Cup the send-off it deserved. At times they rode their luck and Croatia were their equals, at least for much of the game. Ultimately though, France had too much for them. They won by a scoreline last seen in 1966 and previously in 1930 and 1938. But this is very much a 21st century team. Croatia started full of energy but fell behind Mandzukic, who scored the extra time winner against England in the semi-final, becoming the first man to score an own goal in the World Cup final when Griezmann's free kick skidded in off his head in the 18th minute. It was the 12th own goal of the tournament. That meant it was the 4th successive knockout game that Croatia had conceded first. But Perisic, who got the equalizer against England, was on hand again to level the score 10 minutes later, smashing in a low shot. But it was then Perisic's turn to go from hero to zero when he flapped an arm at a corner, and after review, Argentina referee awarded the 28th penalty of the tournament, another record which Griezmann stroked home in the 38th minute for his 4th goal of Russia 2018. That made it the highest scoring first half since 1974 when West Germany led Netherlands 2-1, also in the final score then. It was harsh on Croatia, who had made most of the running, and they were on top again after the break, continually winning their 1-to-1 duels in the air and in every tackle and forging forward in French box with plenty of variety. But France's defense so impressive all tournament held, and they went 3-1 up on the hour as Mbappe and Griezmann combined to set up Pogba on the edge of the box. His right-footed shot was blocked, but he coolly curved the rebound with his left. Lucas Hernandez tore down the left to set up Mbappe, who drilled a low shot behind keeper Daniel Subasic for the 19-year-old's 4th goal of the tournament.
The boy with the...
An awful blunder by Loris revived Croatia as French keeper tried to dribble around Mandzukic, only for the strikers to tap the ball straight into the unguarded net.
Sean double is complete.
Croatia, beaten by the French in the semi-finals in their first World Cup appearance in 1998, continued to press, but their energy was sapped and France safely held out for the victory.
Movable objects.
Sports Desk, TD News.
Well, after lifting the World Cup and celebrating on the pitch and in their locker rooms, French players joked around as they hopped out of the stadium in Moscow on Sunday night, with some sharing their thoughts on what the championship meant. Best Young Player awardee Mbappe said this was only the beginning, a stepping stone to achieving bigger things. Defender Kante said this was the fulfillment of a long-held ambition.
I'm very happy, but as I said, it's different. The game is different for all the players. As I said, there are players who are around 30-year-old, who worked all their career to reach this goal. For me, it's just the beginning. So for me, it's a big step, but it's a step to go much further. As a football player, since many years it's been an ambition to win the World Cup. Today, we did it. I hope the future will remain bright and we can still enjoy the moment. It is difficult to say, it is difficult. I think when we made the fourth goal, it was something incredible because we could feel the cup getting closer to us. So voila, it was a great moment and a great match.
Well, Croatian coach Ratko Dalic said a penalty like the one awarded using video assistance should not be a deciding factor in a World Cup finale. The VAR decided spot kick made Croatia furious and was arguably the turning point of the game. Defender Lawrence said that despite the second place finish, their team showed how big they could get.
We represented Croatia in the best possible way in the final. It's a big deal. We are a little sad to lose, of course. We can't be happy. But with time we will realize just how much we accomplish here. No matter what we lost today, however hard it is, we need to be proud and leave with our head held high. And we have no remorse. We tried our best. It just didn't work out. But we should be proud of our performance throughout this tournament and in this final. Yes, I touched it with my arm. It touched the head and changed direction and I couldn't react. I don't know if you consider this an impulse response or not. It did touch me. But what can I say? It was decided the way it was. Final of the World Cup cannot be solved by one penalty, cannot be penalty. Maybe yes, maybe no. But it is nothing against nobody. Congrats to the referees.
I think now the next 20, 30, 40 years people will talk about us, and this is what we wanted to achieve because we knew we have something special in our bodies, talent, we have everything, but we couldn't just show it on the pitch, but we showed it to the world. We showed how small we are, but in some big moments how big we are.
Well, to put it simply, the World Cup final night, France won the cup, but Croatia won hearts with their brilliant display there on the field. Well, to get a perspective of how France managed to win this particular World Cup and where do the two teams that met in the final go from here, joining me in the studios to discuss more on that particular game there, Rakesh Rao this evening with us in the studios. Rakesh, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Rakesh, looking at purely the way the final played out, almost after, if you put the last 4 World Cups together, the score that you've got in every World Cup final, we got it in one night. How do you see, did you expect so many goals, 6 goals to come in a night in a FIFA World Cup final?
Not really. Because if you just look at the last 7, like the last 7 editions,
True.
What did we get? We didn't get as many.
True.
So this particular one was, indeed, it was very exciting, no doubt. But to see the number of goals, 6 goals, I don't think anybody expected it. And no wonder. If you just go back into history, it's like, 1958 was the last. So, it's what? We are talking about nearly 60 years. So, 60 years hasn't seen this kind of scoring in the key match of the World Cup. But then, obviously, because there were 2 teams, and I think after the 2, people expected Croatia to be attacking a lot more, which they did eventually. But France was supposed to defend that much more. This is what we saw in the last match.
True.
And everybody said France didn't play the right kind of soccer, They were defending all the time and it was too much of strategy involved. This game is considered to be beautiful, but French guys, they ensured that it wasn't so attractive. But what did they do? They scored 4 times, including a self-goal. But yes, a team that scores 4 times deserves to win. So for me, excitement, of course, it was there, and it had a bit of everything. You want a self goal, it was there. You want a horrific goal, it was there. And you need controversy, the sprinkle of controversy, and then again, the kind of stuff that people have to say. But this final will be remembered for so many reasons. It's not just one reason.
Mbappe scoring.
Absolutely, a 19-year-old.
2 World Cup goals outside the box.
And that was 25-yarder. It is something which he is going to remember.
True.
How often have we seen teenagers score? And that too in a World Cup final? Pele, he did it years ago.
True.
As a guy who was not yet 20. And here is a 19-year-old.
Who's done it.
who has really, you know, like he has lived a childhood dream already, and he's not yet 21. I mean, you can just
having said that, now Didier Deschamps, there were a lot of criticism, before the start of the World Cup that 2-3 lost to Colombia there in that World Cup friendly before the World Cup started. And now having won the World Cup, he joins that elite club of, 3 player come managers who won the World Cup as players and also as manager, after Mario Zagallo and Frank Beckenbauer. How do you see Deschamps, as a manager? Has he evolved with every World Cup game in this 2018 edition?
See, I would say that, as a person, he obviously had this aura about him that, okay, he has won the World Cup as a player. Now, obviously, he wanted to do this. But if you look at his skills, managerial skills as such, what he could manage to do was, it was quite. He was blessed by a few results, I should say, because teams like Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Spain, they all went out early. So that made it that much easier for him to just ensure that this was the 5th big team out of the top, So again, I would give a lot of credit to the teammates there. And of course, he did what he was best known for, the kind of flair that he brought out in the end. If you just see the semi-finals, how he employed his resources, and then, 48, just about 72 hours later, what we saw was again brilliant. So he had the resources, he believed in it, that look, if we can, make it work, because it was not just plan A for him. He had more than plan A, B or C. So that is why I hold him really up there. And the best way to beat the Croatians was to hit first, because he couldn't have waited, played the waiting game as we saw in the semi-finals.
True.
Here he went all out, his strikers were in place, and everything, whether you see the attack coming from the wings, but give credit to the opposition here. They knew what was being, hurled at the defense, but still they kept believing that yes, that we could come back. That's why you see the stats would favor the Croatians, but the only difference again was that they could match the Frenchmen in every area of the game except the goals.
Okay, having said that, if you look at this particular World Cup, the way in which strategies have been played out, or tactics have been played out, do you somewhere feel French have the habit of hitting back after that lemon break? The next 20 minutes of play, they have taken apart Argentina, they had taken apart Belgium. So it was very clear after the lemon break, 20 minutes could prove crucial. Did Croatia miss a trick or two there? The scoreline read 1-2 in 2-1 in favor of France. Did Croatia miss a trick or two there? Rather defending, wait for French to get desperate with that 1-goal lead, and then maybe look at going all out on attack.
See, if you look at what happened, like yesterday was again, that until the score was 1-1, all looked fine, but that penalty, that of course turned it around seriously. But coming back to what you just asked, that we have seen that after the break, not just one team, we have seen most of the scoring being done between the 45th minute and the 70th minute.
True.
Those 25 minutes, if you look at it, most of the scoring, decisive goals have been scored during the first 25 minutes, and the last 20 minutes we have seen the team which is trailing attack desperately. This is exactly what happened again. The Croatians, believing that, okay, they could match the Frenchmen right through, but once they were down by 3 goals, then it was obviously difficult. But then they didn't stop attacking, They got one, of course, once they were extremely fortunate to make it 4-2, but I think there were other opportunities where they should have scored.
Well, that's how exactly, World Cup plays out. For the next 4 years, at least the French have the bragging rights of saying we are the champions now. Well, now time for us to slip into a short breather. Here's still lots more lined up from the World Cup and Wimbledon and badminton. Stay tuned.
मार्च पर पहला कदम आपका होगा कैप्टन।
आई होप मम्मी प्राउड होगी।
बच्चों के सपने अनमोल होते हैं, उन्हें सुरक्षित रखिए विक्स वेपोरअप के साथ। ये दे सर्दी से राहत 8 घंटों तक, तो वो सपने देख पाए रात भर। विक्स वेपोरअप।
इतने सारे फल फूल, वाह कमाल है भाई। सब शौचालय का आशीर्वाद है मिश्रा। शौचालय?
शौचालय नहीं, शौचालय, वो भी 2 गड्ढों वाला। 7 साल पहले मैंने इनसे कह दिया था,
शौचालय नहीं तो शादी नहीं।
और मैंने क्या जवाब दिया था? 2 गड्ढों वाला नहीं तो शौचालय नहीं।
2 गड्ढे? क्यों?
एक गड्ढा 5 साल में भर जाएगा शौच करते करते। उसके बाद लिवर को ऐसा घुमाओ और दूसरा गड्ढा खोल दो।
अरे दूसरे की क्या जरूरत है, इसी को साफ करवा दो ना। टट्टी तो है।
ये टट्टी नहीं है, ये सोना है। अरे ये गड्ढा भरने के बाद अगर 1 साल बंद रहेगा तो यही छीछी सोना बन जाएगा।
यानी सोनखार।
इसे हाथ से उठाओ और खेतों में मिलाओ और शौचालय का आशीर्वाद पाओ।
अब तो मैं भी बनवाऊंगा 2 गड्ढे का शौचालय।
और ये भाभी जी को दो।
धरती का उपहार है मिश्रा। शौचालय हो तो 2 गड्ढों वाला।
हमारा काम था खेती में माँ की मदद करना। दिन भर की मेहनत के बाद 30-35 रुपये कमा पाता था। DDU-GKY की ट्रेनिंग के बाद पहले आए फसल काटने से कपड़ा काटने तक और फिर कंप्यूटर तक। अब मैं ऑटोकैड पर डिजाइनिंग करता हूँ। छोटी बहन की पढ़ाई करा रहा हूँ। गांव में घर भी बना लिया है। बीता हुआ कल तो बहुत पुरानी बात है, अब मैं आगे की सोचता हूँ।
ऐसे ही बदल रही हैं लाखों जिंदगियां DDU-GKY की ट्रेनिंग से। आप भी कौशल पंजी द्वारा रजिस्टर कीजिए भारत सरकार की DDU-GKY और RCT योजनाओं में। ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय, कुशल भारत, सशक्त भारत।
गूंज उठे हर मन में सरगम, जगमग कल जगमग 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 जगमग, देश स्वच्छ हो निर्मल हो।
ये है इनक्रेडिबल इंडियंस और इन्हीं से है इनक्रेडिबल इंडिया।
दादी आशीर्वाद लेने आए।
बैठ बैठ। दादी के जाने से पहले पोता पोती का मुंह दिखा दो, यही कहा गया ना तुमको। ले ये पढ़।
आधुनिक हो चुके हैं परिवार नियोजन के तरीके। दादी ये क्या है?
पढ़ना।
अब नए गर्भ निरोधक इंजेक्शन आ चुके हैं।
ये तू पढ़।
महिला एक बार इंजेक्शन लगवाए तो 3 महीने के लिए निश्चिंत हो जाए।
समझ गए ना दादी क्या चाहती है? तुम दोनों एक दूसरे से खुल के बातें करो, परिवार सोच समझ कर बढ़ाओ, खुश रहो। मुझे कोई जल्दी नहीं है पोता पोती की और ना ही ऊपर जाने।
कैसी लगी हमारी दादी?
बिल्कुल दबा।
सेहत और सोच दोनों से तैयार होकर परिवार बढ़ा रहा है इंडिया। अपना भविष्य पक्का बना रहा है इंडिया। फोन करें और परिवार नियोजन से जुड़ी सब जानकारी पाइए। जोड़ी जिम्मेदार जो प्लान करे परिवार।
Welcome back. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulated France on winning the FIFA World Cup. In a tweet, Prime Minister Modi said that France played wonderfully throughout the tournament and during the World Cup final. Prime Minister also congratulated Croatia for the spirited game. Their performance in the World Cup has been historic. Information and Broadcasting Minister Rajwardhan Rathore also congratulated France on its win. In a tweet, he said that a World Cup final that the world will remember, France lifting the Football World Cup after 20 years, and Croatia won hearts across with a brilliant game throughout the tournament and making it to the finals for the first time. A match historic by every measure. FIFA, meanwhile, announced a number of awards to recognize the great performances throughout the time in Russia, including the Golden Boot, Golden Ball, Golden Glove, Young Player and Fair Play Awards. FIFA Golden Ball went to Luka Modric, FIFA Silver Ball to Eden Hazard, and FIFA's Bronze Ball went to Antonio Griezmann. Introduced in 1982, the Golden Ball, which is deemed as the most prestigious award of the tournament, is presented to the most outstanding player of the competition. Members of the technical study group of the FIFA decide the winner. The players who finish second and third receive the silver and bronze ball respectively. Well, the FIFA Golden Boot went to Harry Kane, 6 goals. The player with the most number of goals at every FIFA World Cup final is awarded the Golden Boot. However, if 2 players are tied with the same number of goals, then the winner is decided by the number of assists. Colombia's James Rodriguez won it in 2014 with 6 goals. Thomas Muller won it in 2010 with 5 goals. Miroslav Klose in 2006 with 5, while Brazil's Ronaldo won it in 2002 with 8 strikes. FIFA's Golden Glove went to Thibaut Courtois, the Belgian keeper. The goalkeeper with the best performance in the tournament is given the Golden Glove award. The best goalkeeper is selected by FIFA on the basis of their performance along the final competition. The top prize was earlier called the Yashmin Award, named after the famous Russian goalkeeper Lev Yashin. FIFA Young Player Award went to French striker Mbappe, who's the youngest after Pele to score in a World Cup final. Last Young Player Award, the FIFA Young Player Award recognizes the impact made by young footballers in the competition. The award is presented to the player with the biggest impact at the 2018 football tournament in Russia. Technical qualities such as skill, style and charisma are taken into account, but so are other important factors such as a sense of fair play and a genuine impression that the player is playing for the love of the game. Paul Pogba backed the award in 2014. While Spain backed the award for fair play, the Team Fair Play Award, Spain backed that award in the FIFA Awards night there at the end of the World Cup. Well, a quick word from Rakesh before we wind up. Rakesh, how does Croatia pick themselves from here on? What are the positives that you see, they could build on, into the next World Cup?
My God, they have everything to look forward to. I mean,
Okay.
it is one side which won every single match they played except the last one.
Okay.
And they didn't draw any. And I mean, the victory against like Argentina would be very, very special. You don't see teams winning 3-0 against a side like that. And all along the way, they have been making an impact. Like yesterday, I think majority of the soccer lovers across the globe, irrespective of their loyalties, they probably wanted deep down in their heart that Croatia should win.
Okay.
But their mind said, no, it's going to be France. But then that is the kind of impact they've made. They have everything to look forward to. They have won hearts, they played brilliantly, and they showed that what a small nation can do on a big stage like this.
Well, okay, we'll leave it there. That's interesting. Thank you and appreciate you joining us this evening.
Thank you so
News
much,
just breaking in that Sampaoli, the Argentinian coach, is now out of business. So Argentina looking for their fourth coach in 4 years. That's an interesting story that's building up there. Well, moving ahead, Novak Djokovic. There's also tennis happening. Novak Djokovic is the 2018 Wimbledon men's singles champion. Novak won his 13th Grand Slam title, beating Kevin Anderson in the final on grass at the All England Tennis Club on Sunday evening. This is Novak's fourth Grand Slam crown on grass in England. Novak won the outing in straight sets 6-2, 6-2, 7-6 over South Africa's Kevin Anderson. Well, we leave you with images of fan celebration around the globe.
Sports, the spirit of India.